Hey Hugbugs, this episode is brought to you by our friends at Second Look Scripts. Second Look Scripts is your full-scope editing service. Whether it's a script, novel, graphic novel, play, or erotic Babylon 5 fanfiction, you can have your work edited and proofread by Second Look Scripts. The entire process costs just a penny per word. Second Look Scripts is an independent editor who will help find plot holes, question character decisions, and break down your work beat by beat. You'll then be given a fully edited hard copy of your work, as well as a one-on-one consultation with your editor. All of that for just a penny a word. So check out secondlookscripts.com, enter the offer code HUGLIFE, and you'll get an additional 10% off your edit, which comes right back to us and helps support the show. Once again, go to secondlookscripts.com and enter the offer code HUGLIFE. And now, let's start the show.
You're great.
You're great.
You're great.
You're great.
You're
Hey,
great.
Derek.
Are we going to have nicknames for each other each episode?
You're
I think
great.
we should.
You're great.
I'm Underboob. That's the original. That's the OG. So you're Nev Nips, I'm
great.
Underboob.
Oh wait, let's not give away the studio production value we have here.
Pretty low.
You're probably going to sing anyway, so you might as well just use
That's
the
a
part,
good
you
point.
know. Time. It's pretty impressive, honestly. You're great.
You're great.
You're great.
You're great.
You're great.
You're wonderful.
You know who else is great?
Who's great?
Kermit.
You're great.
Yay.
Hey, thank you.
You're great.
Both are so great.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is wonderful. This is a perfect start. I am Monica Nevi,
I'm Mike Coletta.
and welcome to the Hug Life Podcast. We have a thing that we start out with. It's hard to explain to people. Welcome to episode 98.
Yeah.
This is 98.
We're getting up there.
We are getting up there. We're getting
Wow.
real close to 100.
Very, very
Pretty
special
exciting.
guest.
Do you
Kermet
get like a
Apio
pin?
is here.
I think you get a pin from Apple. They give you one from iTunes.
iTunes, you get an
they're
iTunes
they're
pin?
Congrats, you made it to 100.
It's actually the only reason we started doing this is for the iTunes pin.
And then at 150, they give you a pencil sharpener. Actually,
Nice.
Yes, it's very nice.
Nice.
But also, let's plug our shows. Let's go around and plug our shows. Kermit, do you want to plug where you're at first?
I have a couple bar gigs in the area.
Yeah.
On July 15th, I'll be at the Dub Pub. And,
The Dub Pub.
I think it's...
Is that
I think
Kirkland?
it's in... What was that?
Kirkland?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
I
And then
think I've been there.
on the 16th, I'm at Stars in Renton.
Stars?
I don't know. I have to look that up. I should be better about these things.
No, that's okay.
And then after that, I go to Sacramento at Laughs Unlimited on July 22nd
Fun.
through the 24th.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Sacramento.
We
Right
got
in
some
Old
people.
Sac.
Old Sac. I will be at the Spokane Comedy Club for Mark Maron. That's this
Nice.
weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then Sunday I'll be at Tacoma Comedy Club with Monica Nevi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's great.
She is great. I've heard great things about this Monica Nevi person. And that's my shows this weekend. So that's where I will be.
Awesome. Let's see. I guess tonight when this comes out, I'll be in Squim at the Seven Cedars Casino.
Squim.
I guess I'm doing great. And then this weekend, the Parlor Live in Bellevue with Arj Barker, and then Tacoma Comedy Club on the 10th. And then the following weekend, I'm at Tacoma Comedy Club that whole weekend hosting for Jubal Flagg is recording his first album.
Jubal
Nice.
Yeah,
Flagg.
at Tacoma Comedy
Yay,
Club.
Jubal.
So, and then that reminds me, so episode 98, which means we are so close
For the Hug
to
Live.
100 for the Hug Live recording, the live podcast recording in Seattle, Belltown, Rendezvous, Jewel Box Theater.
July 19th.
And very excited to announce that Jubal is actually going to be on that show with us. He's going to be one of our guests. So
That is
there you
awesome.
go.
That'll be
That's
fun.
great.
Yeah, we had him once before when we weren't as structured as we are now.
Now we're we have so much structure. You're going to be impressed with the structure you
Yeah.
see, Kermit. You're going to be like, wow, that's a very structured
So
podcast.
I'm excited. So get your tickets, brownpapertickets.com.
Brownpickertickets.com.
Yep.
Brownpapertickets.com.
You just type in Hug Live, it just pops up, you know?
Really?
Because nobody else has that name.
If you just Google Hug Live, it pops up. That's amazing.
Well, maybe.
I'm going to do it right now. You ready to sit the
Great
test?
name.
I was saying in brown paper tickets, but you know.
There's some really, really weird Euro band called Hug Live.
Hug Live? That's awesome. We should play their music.
There's
at
a lot
the show.
of YouTube videos. Well, I'll explain. I'm going to go look through that later, and I'll figure it out for next week. Also, don't forget you can rate and review and subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or Stitcher. You can do them both. It really helps the podcast if you do. We're on Racketeer Radios at Thursdays at 7 o'clock, and don't forget you can use our Amazon banner. If you go to huglifepodcast.com and click on the banner and then shop as you normally would, we get a little kickback from that, and it helps support the show. And it's the best way to support the show, honestly, because you shop on Amazon anyway. You know, you get whatever you want. You just got a bunch of 4th of July stuff on there, like America shorts. Or something. So do that. And also use Amazon Prime because it's cool. I use it. I love it. That's it. Oh, do you want to do Twitters?
Yeah.
What's your Twitter? Kermit.
Do you have Twitter?
Okay.
You have Kermit? You have Twitter.
Oh,
Do you have Kermit?
at Kermet Apio, KermetApio.
What is
Ooh.
your website? Just your name also?
It's ikerm.com.
iKerm.com. That's a great
That's
name.
awesome.
It seemed cool 15 years ago.
It's still cool now.
That's great. Yeah. Well, there you go.
Well, I
Then
did
you guys can
because
check it out.
there's so many ways to misspell my name. And at the time, it was so
yeah.
expensive to buy domains that I didn't want to buy every misspelling of my name, right?
Right.
Because
So
basically my
all
parents
be-
spell Kermit different than anyone else does. It's Kermet, which no one spells it that way. And then I have a last name, which is 3 vowels and 1 consonant. So there's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had to come up with something that was sort of easy to say and easier to remember, you know. And so I went with iKerm.
That's
That's
good.
awesome.
I like it.
Yeah.
So no one else spells Kermit the way you spell Kermit?
Not
Have
that
you
I know of.
You've never met anyone else
No.
that does? I love it.
It's all with the I.
You're just so special. You're distinct. That's amazing. There's a lot of Mike Colettas out there. And they're really into drums, like djembe drum playing.
Are they really?
That's who owns MikeColetta.com. Yeah.
That's a big what? When did that happen?
He's always owned it. It's like if you go to MikeColetta.com.
What happened to the UFO hunter?
Oh, he's still there. He does both. He's a UFO
that the
hunter.
same guy?
He's a djembe drum freestyle. He ran for mayor of Colorado Springs. I know a lot about this guy. Okay, and he has the best website ever.
He sounds like he lives a very fulfilling
Yeah,
life. There's
I
a lot
can't
of stuff
take his
going on.
website
Man.
from him because he clearly uses it. Still.
No offense, but I want to do his podcast.
I know he's got a way better
That guy.
podcast.
I do too. He sounds great. That's awesome.
Oh man, and I think that's it for plugs. That's like the fastest plug thing we've ever done. I'm at me Coletta at Monica Nevi on
Right.
Twitter. You can follow the
Instagram.
podcast on our Facebook group, Hug Life Podcast, or you can email us at huglifepodcast@gmail.com.
And can I say, and I know it's going to sound like I'm pandering, but I enjoy following both your tweets.
Oh,
Thank you.
I just want to say that.
that's
It
very
sounds like
nice.
I'm doing the thing because
I'll
I'm on your
take
show,
it. I
but
don't care.
it's okay.
Your pandering makes me feel good.
Either
so
way,
it's fine.
it's fine. I do have a couple of lexical embraces real quick to
Lexical
get out there.
embraces.
Some shout outs. Shout out to TL. I drew her a picture, and then she referred to herself as a huggalo.
A huggalo.
Right?
That's
What?
fantastic.
I was like, that's
Nice.
amazing. Which, if you Google that, it's like a doll, like a stuffed doll.
Really?
Yeah, not what I thought was going to come up, but I liked that. Some people don't really identify with the hug bug, verbiage. So let's huggalo if you want. If that fits you better,
Huggalo.
go for it.
Do it. Live
Shout
your
out
life.
to Danny Dodge for making our Hug Live poster, and it features 2 dugongs.
It does hugging on it.
It's amazing.
It's my
She did a
favorite
great
thing.
job. And then, but you can check out her art.
Yeah, it's
at
studiododge.com.
studiododge.com.
Yeah.
And finally, shout out to myself for talking to me while I was driving for 18 hours. It was getting weird in there, I'm going to tell you, but,
That happens.
we really bonded, I think.
There's a spider that lives in my car that I talk to now while I'm driving. He's like right at the driver's side window. So
Is he just is there all
he
the
just
time?
chills there now. Yeah,
Does
he's
he
been
have
there
a
for like
name?
a couple days. His name's Fred. Named him Fred.
Fred.
Yeah, Fred the spider.
Lexical embrace to Fred.
Yeah.
He hasn't complained about the weather
He
at all.
hasn't complained about anything. It's very climate conditioned in that car. He feels
Okay,
good
good.
about it.
Is he inside?
He's inside.
Okay.
He's like right next to the steering wheel, right next to my head, actually. But I'm like, he's not moving. He just chills there. So I hope he's not dead.
It's like your joke, man. It's like,
like my joke, yeah.
life mimics art or whatever,
I guess.
or the other way around. I don't know.
Spiders just love to live near me, so it's fine. Do you want to hear some good news?
Yeah.
This
You
is
ready?
the good news segment where I have good news to share that I
Hey.
find on the internet.
Hey guys,
Hey.
good news.
There it is. This one is good news because the headline is Library Cat's
Hold
Job.
on, let me fill in, and I want to bring this up again because it was so funny. Our last episode, which we recorded like 3 weeks ago, right? So we could save it because we've been apart. He's like, all right, I got this really good news story. And then he goes, well, it happened in 1998. And then I was just laughing. It was a good story, but I was like,
You know, I get them.
Are we running out of stuff?
I get them off of Reddit, Uplifting News. Okay,
Right,
and
right.
sometimes they just post things on there that you're like, oh, that's really old, but everyone needs to know about it. So this one is July 2nd, 2016. Library cat's job is saved. So there's a city council in White Settlement, Texas, which is a disturbing name for a town. honestly.
But if it was going to be anywhere, it'd probably be
would be there.
Texas.
And they had this cat that would live in the public library to get rid of the rats, and then the city council voted to fire the cat and kick it out of the library. Yeah. And then everyone else was like, "Oh no, you don't do this." And then the city council got overturned by all of the citizens being like, "This cat belongs in this library," and they saved its job.
Wow.
That's commitment. To
Yeah, I know, right?
The library cat.
You got to commit to the library cat.
Well, then wouldn't the rats like take over if the?
Yeah. And they were like, we don't need cats in city buildings. And I'm like, this cat has a job, and it does its job very well. Not only is it
It's
adorable,
a government employee.
it is
at
a
this
government
point.
employee, and it kills rats for you.
But that's what someone thought that they're going to take on and work that day. Like today, we're going to make sure a cat gets thrown out. Like,
They're
that's,
like, we need to take some
This
time to
cat
vote.
needs to lose this job.
these people didn't vote for me to
Not a
worry
lot.
about other. I need to make sure that our library is cat free. That is
Let's table these other concerns. Let's talk about the cat here.
There's not a lot of big issues going on in White Settlement, Texas. I
well,
guess.
that's apparently not. I mean,
They just got so excited to vote on something, in any way, shape, or form.
Like, oh man, we got to
Like,
do
we get to
something.
vote. This is the first time in months.
maybe it was a dare, or like some kind of drunken dare. I
Right.
dare you to try and kick the cat
That
out.
does sound like you're just hanging
Yeah.
out and you're stoned with your buddy. You're like,
Right.
what if we voted on
Yes.
the cat?
And then you're walking in. I'm gonna do it. I'm good. Here's my filing. I'm gonna return it in.
I filled out the paperwork.
Double dog dare you.
I'm doing it. We're doing it.
And the people were like, nope, we're overturning this. That's awesome.
All right, here's another. I just realized these are all about animals, so I hope that's okay, but that's fine. Puppy lost at sea found. So there's a dog that was on a boat, and it fell off the side, and they looked for it for like 3 hours, and they couldn't find it anywhere. And then another boat just came. It was in Connecticut. Another boat came by, grabbed the puppy, saw like the news report that the puppy went missing, and then they gave the dog back. It was perfect, and the dog was just swimming in the ocean like a cool dog.
In the ocean?
In the ocean.
That's good.
I'm trying to say it adorably like a puppy would. It's a widow ocean.
I wish people could see you saying that. It's so much
Right.
more adorable
Yeah,
just to
there's-
watch it happen.
There's a full body thing going on.
ocean.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, that's nice, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and this is the last story, and I like it. Dog rescued from euthanasia is now in training to become Autistic Boy's personal direwolf. Game of Thrones themed here. So this dog,
Wait, what?
this dog named Sherlock.
Ooh.
You can check a picture. He kind of looks like a wolf, right?
Yeah.
He looks a little like a wolf. Monica, you want to take a look at that? He looks like a
Yes,
wolf.
he did. It looks a lot like that
Yeah,
wolf in Game of Thrones.
But he was saved from a kill shelter less than 24 hours before it was euthanized in New England. And now he is like, it's called Big Fluffy Dog Rescue. They're a charity that does this. They rescue dogs, and then they train them to become service dogs. And so now he's going to be a service dog for an autistic boy.
That was a great one.
Yeah, it's a great one. And I like it because it's a charity. So Big Fluffy Dog Rescue. Shout out to them.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
a great name.
Big
For-
Fluffy Dog Rescue.
Mhm. That's an adorable name for him.
I like it when people are just like, what's the description of our company? Let's just name it the same thing.
Yeah, but I like that. So, yeah, that's the good news. There's 3 of them,
That's the good news.
and they're
That's
all
awesome.
about animals. That's the ones I cling on to.
That's great.
Yeah. So, no, it's all. So today, what are we talking about, Monica? What are we going to talk about?
Our positive spin, we're going to talk about adults doing kid activities. So
'Cause you have
kickball,
kids.
or you get. I was just so interested in like summertime for a dad who's home during the day. Like you get to like spend time with your kids and do summer
Yeah.
stuff.
You get
Sometimes
to do the fun stuff that I still want to do, but I feel like I'm too old to do.
Yeah, well, absolutely, and but that's sort of the nice thing about first of all, when you have kids who want to hang out with you, that's kind of a nice thing.
That's good, right?
That's
yeah,
really
yeah.
the first hurdle.
Yeah, that's a big deal, especially because. So how old are they?
Well, now my daughter's 14 and my son is 11.
Yeah, so that gets to the age where they're kind of too
Yeah,
cool
we're
sometimes.
kinda
So
getting
they're
there.
like, I don't want to hang out with
Yeah,
Dad.
exactly.
But so if they're still doing that, that's great.
Up until now, we've been okay.
I mean, yeah, that's cool though. So you get to like you just went to Florida and did all the cool rides and stuff.
We did the Florida thing, and we did it in late June, which was idiotic. because I kind of thought that they're kids. We're at these places, these Disney World and all that, but if a kid is hot, they're hot. That's all I can think
Right,
about.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I didn't know. I was kind of like, yeah, let's do this and do this. Well, there's no air conditioning in that.
Yeah.
They're all picky.
Became an issue.
That's great. Oh man,
They are getting to that age though, where they sort of have opinions and what they'd rather do than what you're suggesting. But still, in the early days, my wife used to laugh because she'd come from work, and generally I would try when the kids are napping to kind of get stuff done. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes I just like, you know what, that nap thing, it's a good idea. Let's do
just
that.
on their same
You'd all be
schedule.
napping.
And I had up until that point, I hadn't been taking adult naps. This just wasn't. But I do that, and or she'd come home and the house would be a mess, and she'd go, "So what'd you guys do today?" And my daughter would say, "We came up with our own funny noise. We had to work on a funny noise." And she looked at me like, "What?" I go, "Yeah, you have to come up with your own funny noise." we spent about an hour on that. And we did. So we just did
Do you
all
wanna
these
hear
different.
mine? Yeah,
You're
that's
right. So we suggest noises and make funny noises, and so yeah, there's things like that where it's so fun because you get to kind
Yeah.
of live that out.
Yeah.
Just there are days where we just do something really, really dumb or silly, and there was no problem. That's just kind of how it is.
That's the way how I live my life still too.
Right,
I know.
exactly.
Perfect.
When
Exactly.
I think that's the problem with some people is that you're like, well, I need an excuse to do. I need to be, hanging out with kids or
Right,
whatever.
right.
And I just don't believe in that. I think I'm going to color with colored pencils and play kickball if I want to.
Yeah,
I don't care.
I'm gonna join a kickball league. I think now. Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
Even though
I had a lot, even though I'm not good,
I was
going to
say you were criticizing your performance earlier.
Yeah,
so.
it was because I kept popping the ball straight up in the air. Like I'm not good. I never was taught how to kick a ball. I thought about that. I never played soccer really, so I just always kick a ball with my front of my toe, which you're not supposed to do, and then it just pops straight up in the air. Yeah, I'm doing this
Did
wrong.
you play kickball in PE?
No, we didn't. So when I was in Alaska, because it was all indoor activities, obviously because wintertime,
You play off the
we would
walls.
play we wouldn't play dodgeball, but we would play this weird version of capture the flag with footballs on giant street cones, and you'd have to run to the side and grab the footballs and take them back to your side of the gym.
Wow.
And then you'd get bonus points if you grabbed one of the footballs and threw it across the gym. If you made it into the basketball hoop, it was like a snitch, like an instant game over kind of thing.
A stitch.
A snitch, like the golden snitch thing.
Yeah, I usually relate sports to Harry Potter.
I do too.
No,
Oh wait, you don't?
never.
You went to Harry Potter World though.
I did go to Harry Potter World.
I try to express to people how much fun Harry Potter World is, and I don't think it's hard to not I think everyone will
Do you
enjoy.
wear a cape? What do they
I
wear?
didn't wear a cape, but I was really bummed that we
capes?
ran out of time and I couldn't go get my own wand. I went in to a wand shop, and then I'm like, oh wait, Katie.
You're just pouting after.
Yeah, I was like, Katie, we could get our own wands, and she's like, I think that's for the little kids. I'm like, it's not for adults. What I can get a wand if I want to.
You're
I'm an
like,
adult. I can
we
get a wand if
spent
I
all
want to get a
day
wand.
at
Yeah.
Harry Potter World, and now you're like, I don't know if we should.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great.
But it's fun. I like these new things with theme parks where they're trying to bring you into the world of what it is, because they're making a Star Wars land too, and I'm so
right.
excited. I am so excited.
Well,
about this.
have you done the train at the Harry Potter World thing?
No, you were telling me
Okay.
how cool
So
it is.
they have a train now that connects the two, and the train stations each look like the ones that they're supposed to look like, and it's pretty amazing the way they designed it. And then you get on the train, and then the window is actually a video screen. So as the train pulls out, I mean, when you get in the train, you're in a private car, so there's benches on either side, and the window is a brick wall. And as the train leaves, the brick wall starts to move, and then it's what you would see in that train ride. And then characters like the two guys come flying by on their brooms, and it's characters out the window, which is really cool.
Yeah.
That's
And then you'll
awesome.
hear dialogue between Harry and the other two, and then you'll see shadows on the left side, the hallway thing. You'll see shadows of them talk as they talk, and they walk through the hallway. So there's characters in the window and a big meadow and all that kind of stuff, and then it's just an amazing experience.
Yeah,
right?
it
And
brings you in.
And so for the kids, that was it, because each park has 2 different themes for Harry Potter, and that's connected now by the train.
See, that's new.
And for the kids, that was incredible. For me, that was like, oh, okay, now I got to buy a hopper. Like that's how they got me.
Right. Yeah.
I now have to buy both parks because you have to have the.
So there's
the hopper
2
to get.
Harry Potter parks now?
Yeah, there's Diagon Alley is the one, and it really is like Diagon Alley.
That's
and
the one that I've been to.
The
I think
storefronts,
that's the older one. Yeah,
and you can actually walk into the stores and they sell the stuff. That,
it's really cool.
And then the other side is the Hogsmeade side, and it's amazing. Yeah, it's
awesome.
all kind of the whole Hogsmeade setup, and then up on the hill there's Hogwarts, the building. They rebuilt the building. It's really amazing.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, now I gotta go back to Florida.
I know it's so funny because the kids are just talking about like, oh, and this is that, and they're throwing out names, and I was thinking, wow, I feel like an idiot. I have no idea what they're saying.
Oh yeah. Oh man. That's funny.
We can go to Jurassic Park. I know all of those guys.
Yeah. Grant and Hammond and all those guys. You guys don't know them? Oh, well, I guess it's like I know something that you don't know, huh?
When we go to Terminator, I'll know all the characters.
That's so funny that you were saying they didn't know. You were explaining the movie
Yes,
Terminator.
I'm in line trying to explain Terminator to kids. So he kills every Sarah Connor in the book.
His prime directive is to kill Sarah Connor. You don't understand.
He travels in time to stop the resistance.
So that's like a show then, kind of, that Terminator thing?
Yes, you sit in a theater, but it's pretty interactive, and
That's
it's
cool.
It's the company that makes the Terminators. It's like everything goes awry, like the robots take over. And,
That is like how most rides start, because the Jurassic Park one, you're on like a little raft, and it's like fork in the road. To the right, is good dinosaurs. To the left, danger, keep out. Well, we're going left.
Right. And I'm in the back like, I think we should have gone that way. Let's just.
I told Kermit it would be funny if like 1 out of 20 times it went right.
It just went.
And
It was just like a nice boat ride.
boat ride, and then it ends, and you're just like, oh well, that was thank you for riding the Jurassic Park ride at Universal Studios.
You have fun, like you never.
I mean,
really know.
the whole time, even as you walk through the gift shop, you'd be thinking, is something going to happen now? Like you keep, right? If you went through the
After
good
you go
ride, you
down,
would
yeah.
always wait. Like you'd be outside going, something's going to happen.
And then you'd tell other people about it, and you're like, "What's your favorite ride?" They're like, Jurassic Park, and you're like, "I thought that was boring. That was nothing really happened on that one."
That was just very uneventful.
There's 2 dinosaurs that barely move, and then you get back to the entrance.
Right. It was relaxing, I guess. That's
So
great.
you stay at home a lot, so do you get to do all this fun stuff all the time? Like this is your life, right? You get to just this is an amazing
Sort
thing.
of.
Sort of.
I will say this: by the end of summer, they hate errands so much.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you have. They
few
have
years
to.
ago-
Oh, they have to do the adult stuff too.
A few years ago, my daughter goes, "So this is what you do when I'm at school?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Every day?" I said, "Almost every day. There's some kind of errand to run." She goes, "I'd rather go to school."
Like yeah, hold on to that.
That's awesome.
But we do get fun stuff. That's a nice thing, is that we can pretty much put on the schedule. You know, I mean, there's certain things that I want to get done in the summer because I travel a lot. So when I'm home in the summer, you know, there are projects and work. But yeah, we can put anything on the schedule we want. You know,
Yeah.
and which is really nice. When we first found out Marnie was pregnant, I talked to a friend of mine. His son was about a year old at the time, and I started to worry because you know, when we first started trying, we had a lot of friends say, "Oh, it takes a year. It took us 2 years and everything." First month, we were
Really?
Marnie like, guess what? I went, "No way!
You're like, I
I'm
was
not ready for. I thought I had a year."
Yeah, you have all these
Ready
books
for
to
this?
read.
Yeah. So I was really worried, and so my buddy who's a comedian had a kid who was 1, and he said something really interesting to me because I said, you know, how do I keep doing this? How do I keep traveling and everything? And he said, you know, you'll spend more time with your kids than most American dads. He said, you'll be there all day when you're in town. Even if you have a show in town, you're there all day.
Yeah.
You can go to the zoo, and if there's a meltdown, you can come back tomorrow, try it again. You know. And,
yeah.
And he said most American dads come home between 6 and 8, and the kids are in bed by 9. You know,
Right.
8 and 9 o'clock. And he said you will get a lot of time, especially in those first 5 years. Just try and stay home. And I'm so glad he told me that because he was completely right, man. I really enjoyed the time I had with my kids in the first, before they started going to school. It was just amazing. We do anything,
Yeah.
and so that talk helped me a lot, and it also helped me comedy wise because I actually wound up starting to get better gigs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was this one corporate agent who does a lot of corporate gigs, and I said, I'm so glad you're finally using me, because I'd known him a while. And he goes, Kermit, I stopped asking you because you were always busy, and I'd be like on a one-nighter run in Montana or something. You know what I
Right.
mean?
So not worth
and the
it.
one gig this guy could give me covered that the same I would have made out there without driving to Montana.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And so it really helped my career. But yeah, it was really great to look at it that way, to realize, oh yeah, I will spend a lot of time with
Yeah.
that,
Well, that's true. I mean, a lot of people don't, I used to work for like youth development nonprofits like the Boys and Girls Club or the YMCA or something like that. And how often, I had those kids compared to how much they saw their parents was like, I was probably
Yes.
the person they were seeing the most.
Yes.
And as a kid, I had a similar experience. Both of my parents worked until 6 or 7. And, so during the week I saw them for a combined like 10 hours, like it wasn't
Right. And that was-
until
that
the
was-
weekend. Yeah. So that's awesome. Like you get to be with them, but then also you can do cool stuff.
Yeah, I'm
together.
very, very lucky, man. I to be able to do comedy and also kind of balance that with the dad thing. It's been really great for me to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do all kinds of stuff. We haven't really planned out this summer because now they're in a lot of select sports and stuff.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
You go to
kind of
sports games?
Yeah, I go to a ton of sports games, which is good.
Do you have you witnessed any angry sports dads other than you yet?
Oh, yeah.
Has that happened?
You say other than you? Are you?
Are you an angry sports dad?
Kermet Apio, Angry Sports Dad. That's his next album.
Oh no, you're asking me if I'm living my dream through them.
Yeah. Yes.
If they need to step their game up.
My son's club ball practice, right? And club ball is like, these are kids who, they've got some money. They've been in club ball since they were 6 or 7. And so they're pretty good players, and anyway, so I'm watching my son's, and it's the first time I'm watching his practice. He just got in with this club like last month. So the practice is an hour and a half, and so I'm watching it. And an hour and 20 minutes after the practice start, one of the dads comes in to pick up his son. And he immediately goes to the sideline and starts coaching his son as his son is like, really, dude?
Really?
You're a dad, man. Let the coaches do
Yeah.
their thing,
Right.
But you realize that that's part of it, that there are parents like that. And I just want them to enjoy sports because I want them to stay in it. And it's very
Yeah.
easy to get a kid to hate sports
Yeah.
by
Absolutely.
too much.
I played basketball all the way through college, and there was girls that I played with from, 6th grade on where their dads they were always coaching their teams. Didn't matter, like, select their high school teams, like whatever, and just yelling at them constantly.
Yeah.
And they had great players for daughters, and then they just didn't want to keep going because they hated it at some
Absolutely.
point. There was a chick who actually was from up here, and she should have gone D1 and just didn't play in college because she hated
Wow.
it. Yeah. So I've known quite a few angry sports dads in my years.
And you kind of see it. You kind of you can sometimes, some kids, you can see it in their face. You can see that this is a couple years left on
Right.
it because you don't see true enjoyment. And so I'll help my kids, especially if they're playing something that I've played. I'll help them, maybe on the van ride home, at the venue. I leave it to the coaches, do whatever.
Right.
And then other times I just talk to them about the great stuff they did and have fun. And, I want them to keep going, not just because, I played a lot of sports and I know how valuable it is, but that's how they need to pay for college.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. You gotta keep
You
going.
gotta
otherwise
stick to it.
Yeah.
The free ride
Yeah.
stops at 18.
I don't know, you realize what your dad does for a living?
What if they became comedians? What would you get involved? Would you be the
I don't know,
the
man.
comedy
What-
dad?
The angry comedy dad?
Angry comedy dad?
Yeah. That's why standing in the back there. Come on.
Yeah. You call that a tag? Screaming at him.
That's not an act out. That's a statue. Disappoint me.
I'm disappointed in you. Use that.
That's right. Well, my kids are very, very funny. And so I really I would rather they use humor in their really, really awesome, good-paying job that has a 401k. You know what I mean?
Like a funny doctor.
Yes,
That
like,
makes sense.
Right.
Everyone needs a funny doctor.
Right. Exactly. Patch Adams made movie rights money, right?
Yeah.
And you get to be a doctor and,
Right. There you go.
So, I mean, yeah, but they are very funny. So, who knows? And I've seen there are comics from kind of my generation, like Elliot Max, whose son, Joe Larson, has done really well. But I'll tell you, man, it was hard watching Joe start because I've known Joe since he was a kid. And then when he started watching him do open mics, it just hurt me because I knew the road ahead of him. I was like,
you're like,
right.
this is not an easy
I
road
don't want you to
take.
go through this, dude.
It's hard.
So it's a weird thing, but like I said, they crack me up. They have very good senses of humor.
That's awesome.
Well,
I'll tell you this story. My daughter was 10, and we're sitting there having dinner, me and the kids, and we're talking about colleges. And my daughter says, "Can I ask you a question, Daddy?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Why didn't you finish college?" I said, "Well, I wasn't doing all that well. I was taking a lot of Grandma and Grandpa's money to not do well, and I was working sort of part-time at United Airlines at the airport, and they opened up a full-time job. And so I thought I'd interview it because I never really interviewed for a real job. So I put on a suit and I interviewed, and they offered me the job. And I said, so my plan was to go to work for a year, get residency, and then tuition would go down a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then go back to college. And if I was paying for it from my full-time job, then I would work harder at it. That was the idea. And then while I was at United, comedy came along, and the whole thing turned another direction.
Yeah.
So she goes, she's 10 now. She goes, what is residency? I explained the whole thing. Oh, well, I wasn't a resident of Washington. I was a resident of Hawaii still. And so you have to stay in Washington for a year, prove you've worked for a year and that kind of thing, and you become a resident and your tuition comes down. Explain the whole thing to her. And she looks at me and she's kind of thinking. I can see the gears turning, and she goes, well, it's too bad you can't ever go back to college. And I said, wait, no, I could go back to college. She goes, no, you can't. And I go, what do you mean? And she goes, Dad, can you prove you've worked for a year? I must have laughed for like 30 seconds.
That's so funny.
I laughed so hard. Right? She's 10. Yeah. And not only that she thought that, but she didn't just say the line. She fish hooked me into it first.
Right. Yeah.
She brought me in. So when you and she was 10 years old, and so when you ask me a question like that about the possibility of them being comedians, I'd rather they didn't. But man,
they could.
When they're that funny, you kind of go, all right.
Got that timing.
Yeah. It was right. It was timing. It was kind of fish hooking me. It was everything.
It was perfect.
On how to do
the
that.
setup and
right.
Wow.
She could have just said the line, but nope. She waited on it. She set it up.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
I said, well, you know what? 5 hours a week for 21 years. I'm getting close. I must be.
I'm so close.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it was great. It was very funny.
That's awesome.
Would we have? Should we do a top 5 turnaround?
If you want to.
You want to do one?
Yeah. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. This is how this works.
This is my favorite game.
I have picked the top 5 worst of something. You and Mike are on a team. I'm going to give them to you one at a time, and you have to tell us why it's not that bad. Why it's a good thing.
I have heard this.
Yeah, it's usually really hard.
I don't know. I was going to say I don't know how good I'm going to be at this, but I have heard you guys do this.
So the theme was kids hanging out with kids, family stuff. So I found the top 5 worst states to road trip in. So family road trip.
This is fantastic.
You're gonna have to tell us why driving through this state with your family wouldn't be that bad. And it was somewhere, I can't even remember what website, but they used like lodging and gas costs, scenic and like attraction stuff to do.
The world's biggest ball of yarn.
Right, yes, those types
Minnesota.
of things. And it's excluded nightlife, so this is like, parks and like actual stuff to do. And then there was some other category that I forgot about. Right.
No nightlife
Exactly.
for Kermet Apio. No nightlife.
Just life. It's just regular life. All right. Number 5 is Michigan.
Michigan?
Mm-hmm. Tim, why are we going to Michigan?
Isn't Michigan's got the Great Lakes, so I feel like that would be a great place to go road tripping.
It's got one of them, right?
Well, this guy doesn't have more than one. I don't know geography, but it's got Great Lakes. I feel like
Just throw it out there
I
anyway.
feel like Michigan's like an outdoorsy state, kind of too, like a camping and fishing state.
Yes,
So that'd be good, right?
yes,
That's a good reason.
And it's also a great sports sports state. The Wolverines, the college level, pretty known. And Detroit has a lot of great sports.
Yeah.
The Tigers baseball park there is beautiful.
There you go. That's a good one.
Also, there's a pie company. I think it's called
Here it goes.
Yeah.
Michigan. What's the name of it? But they have this thing called the ABC pie. It's apple, blueberries, and cherries. And it's called an ABC pie. And you wouldn't think that'd be good. It was so unbelievably good. It's So that's up on I think the north part. And then there's that island that comedian Stu Stewart spends a lot of time at.
Grand Traverse Pie Company, is that what it's called? I googled ABC Pie Company.
Is it always called
Grand, or is it? It could just be called ABC Pie Company.
No. It's the ABC is the type of pie that I
Right,
like.
there.
But
It's Michigan ABC Pie by Grand Traverse Pie Company.
is it Grand Traverse? That doesn't sound
That
right.
doesn't sound right. Well, it's. I'm sorry. I'm like, we need to know this pie
Well,
company
Google.
right now.
But there's that island. What's that? The name of the island? It's the one where Somewhere in Time the movie was filmed, and it's you take a ferry to the island and no cars on the island, just golf carts and bikes.
I think I've heard about this.
Yeah, and it's really really cool place.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that would be
it's-
worth going just to go there.
Yes.
Like I would drive through.
And
the
it's
state
like
just-
Mackinac Island?
Yes.
you
that's the one.
you and your computer.
I'm
Look at
just
you.
I
Googling
believe it's
things right
pronounced
now.
differently, but I think it's called Mackinac.
Mackinac. It's right. You're right. It's
Yes.
Mackinac Island.
Yes.
That's correct.
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
said
yeah.
Mackinac because I sound things out. That's some great reasons. You've been all over the country. This is the perfect game for you. This is gonna be great. Mackinac Island. We got a pie company. You had me at pie company.
Yeah, man, what's the name of that pie company? I can't remember, but it's really good pie, and it's sort of known throughout Michigan. And there's only a few places that have it. And
Can I ask you an off-topic question?
Yes.
I know we're gonna get off, but I want to know.
Yeah.
We got time.
Do you know the best pie you've ever had off the top of your head? Can you think of it?
You're a big pie.
You're a pie guy.
I don't know
Pie guy.
that I can single out
Big
any
pie
one.
guy.
Because once you put a lot of effort in a pie, it's going to be really good. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's hard to single out one that's the best.
Well, then do you have a favorite type? Like, do you have a type that's clearly above the
no,
rest?
see that I'm going nowhere with you on these because I don't have.
You know
I
what?
don't.
You're really dragging me through the dirt here,
That's
man.
how you know you love something, though, because I'm the same way. When
That-
it's something
exactly.
I really like, it's like I can't choose. Like
Yeah.
people are like, "What's the best chicken wing you ever had?" I'm like, "I love chicken wings."
Exactly.
I have my favorite chicken wings. Like this is Chipotle kind of had in Spokane, but that's like I feel like you gotta have categories like best buffalo.
Oh yeah, those
or
are
best
really good.
barbecue.
That's right.
Like it's like
That's right.
Monica knows those are really good. Those
Yeah.
ones in Spokane, but like that's how you know you truly love something.
Yeah,
I think.
like right now, berry pies sound great. You know what I mean? And then in October, boy, a pumpkin pie sounds really
Oh,
good.
yeah.
It's I can't. It's hard for me to just pull one out.
How
and
do
say
you
it's the
feel
best.
about like savory meat pies? Are you into those?
Yeah, I'm fine with them, but I don't.
Because I'm kind of weirded out by them, to be honest with you.
I know. I feel like you're.
I'm not feeling it at all.
Trapping us
I'm
in
very weirded out by it. And I wanted to know if I've just been doing this wrong.
No, I see them as separate. You know, I mean, they're definitely pies and they're great.
Like a
but-
chicken pot pie is fine. But
Yeah,
like when
yeah.
you get like a mincemeat pie, like when it's actually
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, to me, when I talk about pie, I'm generally talking about dessert.
That's why that's why we're best friends.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
State number 4.
sorry.
There's a pie detour we had to
I
take.
know.
And by the way, I'll take those any day. So I'm so sorry.
I was waiting for
the
it.
tangent.
We
Like,
went
we
on a
haven't talked
comedy
about
road
pie
trip one
for-
time somewhere, and we talked about pie. It was to Victoria. We talked about pie or desserts for like a solid hour and a half.
Yeah.
We were driving to the ferry. I
That's
think.
And more than once, I think we brought it up a couple of times throughout
Yeah.
Like,
We-
but
we-
back to pies.
Anyway, we were just sitting in the museum of natural history, whatever, in Victoria. Like, so anyway, about pie. And
Yeah, we talked so much pie.
That's awesome. All right, number 4 is North Dakota.
North Dakota. Oh, this
Why
is
are you
tough.
driving
I know
through North
nothing
Dakota?
about
Okay.
Because Mount Rushmore's in South Dakota, right?
Yes.
You can't get that upset because people will get. North Dakota. What is in North Dakota? Have you been
The
to North
geographical center of North America. It's in Minot, North Dakota. You can stand on the place, and you're right in the geographical center of North America.
You got a really strong teammate
I have
here
an
today. Yeah,
amazing
he knows some
teammate,
good
and
stuff.
this could be the best one we've
And the other thing is, one of the greatest gigs I've ever done is in North Dakota. There's a place in the
Really?
summer called Medora. Medora in the winter has 100 people in it. In the summer, it's one of the top 20 tourist destinations according to the AARP. So
I was like, I didn't get that information, but okay.
So Medora is this historical town, and it's a really tiny town, and it's very cute, and there's a lot of tourism, and you never see it from the town, but if you go up this road, up this hill, at the top of the hill, there's a 2,400 seat amphitheater with top flight sound and lights. It's a big production. They put on a show, and the first time I did it, they said we're going to bring you in a day early because you're there for like 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh, wow.
They said, we're going to bring you in a day early so you can see the show and kind of see how you fit in. And so I come into this amphitheater. It's huge. It's got a big Western set, building facades. And all of a sudden the show starts and this music starts playing. And then these people on horses come through. And then the cast comes out and sings a song. And
What?
And yes, and they're singing, and it's very kind of rah America, kind of a lot of country songs. It's really fun. And then I go, oh, they're going to send me home. This doesn't. There's no way a stand-up comic fits in there.
Right, yeah. Where do you go?
And then, and so they have this spot where they have the guest entertainer, and sometimes it's like a circus, a trapeze act, or sometimes it's like they've had so many different, like a dance act or something, and then sometimes it's a comedian. And it just feels so weird because everybody's singing, and all of a sudden the music stops and the host goes, well, we've got a funny comedian. And you come out. And by the way, if it's packed, 2,400 people, which it does a lot, 400 to 500 are kids. Because it's a family show, right?
Yeah.
So that's a weird thing in and of itself. Even if you work clean, that's a weird thing. Because
Right.
you still know you're not going to relate to them.
Yeah.
And
Just
so
gonna explain Terminator to them.
that's what I do.
According to the AARP.
Going to the
So they so I would go on in this one spot for the guest entertainer. And right after me was a reenactment of the Spanish-American War.
This is amazing.
And there's a hill.
I mean, at least you didn't have to follow that. but-
Well, yeah, you don't want to go on after the war.
Right, don't go right
I
after.
thank them for that. So there's a hill behind the set, and so the set opens up, and you see the hill. And at the beginning of the show, there's elk on top of the hill, and then they chase the elk down for the start of the show. And on the hill, they have pyrotechnics, so people on the stage are shooting towards the hill, and all of a sudden you see this boom, 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 thing exploding, and like it's a big show.
Yeah.
And so I was really like, oh, this isn't going to work. Like me coming out and whining about my life in this show while people are singing and dancing and pyrotechnics and fireworks at the end of the show. And it wound up being one of my favorite gigs. And I've done it 3 times. And each time enjoyed it more. Like
Wow.
the people there are so nice. The shows are fun. And I mean, you play it at 2,000 people.
That's awesome.
On a regular basis. And it's outdoors, so it's so funny because you'll see the thunderstorms coming in, and you see the cast just crossing their fingers. Please come over us right now because it's 7 nights a week. They don't get a day off.
Whoa.
Yeah, for the summer.
Jeez.
So by the end of the year, they got shin splints, knee injuries, and all this kind of stuff.
Oh, man.
Because they're dancing like crazy in
Yeah.
the show.
Every
So
day.
much
And,
dancing.
So much dancing.
So if you're in North Dakota, Medora, North Dakota, it's really fun. They've got a great museum there, and
I love this. I love this so much.
Yeah,
We're
and it's one of my
destroying this
favorite
top
gigs to
5
do.
turnaround right now.
You would never think a comedian would
in.
enjoy being in a Western rah-rah America show.
right.
And
When I
I
think
loved it.
Kermet
That's
Apio,
awesome.
I think Western themed
Exactly.
show.
Exactly. But that was kind of the beauty of it because everybody had to do their scripted stuff. I got to just mess around. I got to talk about things that were happening on stage or I got to break
there
the
you
fourth
go.
wall a
Do you
lot.
think
Yeah,
there's
that's
people
fun.
that are in the show dancing and they just look at you like, I wish I was doing what he was doing right now?
Well, I've talked to them. I
You made a
talked
bunch of
about it.
stand-up
Or is she just
comedians
looking
that
at the
night?
kids out there like, I wish I was out there. So I was sitting down. Yeah.
I've talked to them about it, and no, they don't want to be out there just talking because they just realize with all those kids, with all the things in front of you, it's a really difficult thing. And
Right.
But for a comedian, that's what we do.
That's the funny thing about comedy when you do a show and they're like, gosh, I couldn't imagine doing what you're doing right now. And I'm like, really? Because this is just what I'm doing. Like when
Right.
people are like a music
Right.
person,
I mean,
they're
really,
on a
it's
show
just
with,
talking.
I'm just talking. That's all I'm really doing. Talking to timing.
right, exactly,
Really is.
exactly.
But,
That's
next
great.
stage.
We're going to have to check that out.
Yeah, I want to go to Medora, North Dakota now.
All right. Mississippi.
Mississippi.
I got nothing.
Now I'm just like,
I'm out.
well, the Mississippi River is really cool, right? I don't know anything about these states.
Mississippi.
Mississippi. I hope there's a state on there that I know about.
There's aren't there the riverboat things? In
Oh,
Mississippi?
yeah, the
You take
steamboats, those
the
big-
big wheel engines on the back.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
movie Maverick
What,
with Mel Gibson, that remake.
Isn't it
Yeah.
a thing that they like? Where you like take one and go to like a party or a casino or something, and then you take it back? Is that
Is that in Mississippi?
Maybe.
This is a riverboat thing, I
the
think, but I don't
casino?
know.
Isn't that usually how it
Oh,
works?
is it on
riverboat
the-
is a casino.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
That'd
that's
be
a reason
cool.
to go. For your kids.
Oh, that's right. We were talking about kids. So you take your kids on the casino
Yeah.
boat.
Yeah.
Give each
I love it.
$10.
And have fun.
Whoever comes back and more gets shotgun on
I
the way
went-
home.
The one time I went on a family cruise, it was my mom and dad. My dad's like, I'm gonna go to the casino. I'll be back in like 2 hours. We're like, okay. He walks in, walks out 20 minutes later. He's like, I just lost $100. And he's like, we gotta go somewhere else.
We have to,
Like,
we have to
okay.
leave now. That's awesome.
He's like, I thought I was good at blackjack, but I guess not. Oh, it was wonderful.
boats, river
Yeah.
boats, I guess.
Boats are
Okay.
built. My dad, so we say boats are built big and small. My dad lives in a small Texas town called Port Aransas, and they have a tourism video that he was in because he runs like a wooden boat building shop.
Right.
And he says, boats are built big and small. And then it just cuts to like another thing.
So we just
and
say
we
that
just
all
say
the
it all the
time.
time. Now. So yeah, it's like, but yeah, so that's why we're saying that.
All right, road trip. I don't know how you're going to road trip through this, but Alaska.
Alaska. All right.
Can you drive
Should I
that
take-
far?
You can cut through Canada, and then
Yeah.
and there's one main highway, and they've actually, this is a bonus reason to do this now, is they redid the highway. My brother told me that goes from Anchorage
Yeah.
to Fairbanks. It's actually 4 lanes now. It should just be 2 lanes.
Yeah.
And along that highway, there's a lot of places you can stop. You can stop into this famous place in Palmer. And it's like a brunch place, but they have like their sourdough pancake recipe has been using the same sourdough since for like 100 years. So it's like 100, but like it like keeps regrowing it, like the strain or whatever is original. I think
I
that's how
don't
it
know
works.
that much
But
about
there's also riverboat rides in Fairbanks. There's a bunch of stuff to see. There's Denali National Park. I don't know why they said that. That's really.
I knew you were
I'm
going to
kind
get
of
offended
upset.
by it.
Yeah,
Again, it was like
I'm a little offended.
One of the
Cost
best
and
pies I've
stuff.
had, Sitka Airport.
Really?
The airport?
Yes. Yes, they told me. They said their airport cafe is really good pie. And really, like, she makes those things. Their crust is awesome. And really, and I had a 6 a.m. flight. So I go there and they're
Morning pie.
open at 5.
really.
And I go, oh, man, they're open. I said, the pie open? She goes, the pie's always open. If we're open, the pie's open. And I thought, am I going to eat pie at 5 a.m.? And I did.
It
That's
did, And it was
amazing.
it was
Yeah.
worth it. There.
I've had breakfast pie before. Breakfast pie is a great
That's
thing.
awesome.
It is a good thing.
Yeah.
Breakfast
So
apple
Sitka
pie.
Airport, one of the best pie places ever.
You know what?
There you go.
I mean, I could keep going. Like you got the Denali
I'm-
National Park.
I just
you got
like it when you
Alaska,
get
got
upset.
Pioneer Park.
I'm surprised that Alaska would be on that list. I mean, maybe because they're talking about driving to it. If you drive to it, it's a long. 'cause
If
you-
you
Right.
if you fly into Anchorage and rent a
Oh,
car
it's
and
awesome.
drive up to Fairbanks, that's a great vacation. I think personally, you could also take the train up too. Also fun, the Great Alaska
Ooh,
Railroad.
that would
Yeah.
be that would
It's a
be
fun thing to
fun.
do. But there's a lot to see because in Fairbanks there's like this thing called Pioneer Park. It used to be called Alaska Land. It was like an Alaska themed theme park where you could
In
like,
Alaska?
gold, yeah, you could get gold pan.
Isn't that
Wow.
just Alaska?
It's
Nice.
where Sarah Palin announced her retirement as governor of Alaska. Also,
Oh, so it's a happy place.
yeah, but they have a really sweet mini golf course there.
Okay,
and then they
okay.
have like a train ride that goes all the way around the park. kind of
Yeah.
thing. And then they have a crazy beer garden. So yeah.
It sounds. I mean, yeah. Let's
Yeah.
road trip to Alaska.
I don't
It's
think-
sourdough. It's Sitka pie.
Sitka
And,
pie.
and you're always an inch from dying.
And you're always an inch from dying.
It's so funny. Like you'll be on something like you'll be just kind of doing a hike or something. Yeah, and if you go that way, you could fall 400 feet. Like what? And
Yeah.
it's right there.
why are we
Right?
here?
And one time we were driving along this road, and there were these people kind of standing by the side of the road. And as we got closer, there was a moose, and they were sitting there taking pictures of it, really like 20 feet away.
That's bad.
And we
yeah.
pull up, and my friend rolls on the window and he goes, "Hey guys, you guys could die in a second. You might want to get back in your cars." And they were like, "Well, he's not moving." Like,
Yeah,
and
right now.
he's just sitting there. And he goes, "Okay." And he rolls up the window, and we kept driving.
So those people are
Yeah.
dead.
And I said, really? He said, those things can in a second decide they just don't want you there. And,
Yeah.
Alaska's filled with stuff like that where you're like, oh, look at this. Oh, that could kill you.
There's so many things that can kill you there. It's crazy. Yeah, there's
Just like going outside.
when I
Right? Like being like when it's that cold, it's like you just go outside.
when we were kids, we were walking home from school and we used to cut this person's yard and they get really mad. But then we were cutting through a field behind their house and there's a baby moose. And then my brother like, oh, it's a baby moose. And then the mom moose like raised his head, and then all the cars like near us stopped, and we're like, come on, like get over here as fast as you can. Like we gotta go. You guys need to run because we were between the mom
jeez.
and the baby.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and my brother and I just like sprinted and just left. Like nothing happened because I don't think she didn't see us, but we ran. Like we booked it. Yeah.
Dang.
Wow.
Yeah, because it was this guy in his
Adrenaline
SUV
rush.
like, you guys need to go like right now, like come over here as fast as you can. Like, but
My friends told me that when phones with cameras came out, the amount of calling in sick because there's a bear on your porch went down because the boss would say, well, good, send me a picture
Send me
of it.
pictures.
yeah,
He would call in and
could
say,
do that?
there's a bear on my porch, and like, yeah, don't leave your house. And
I'm
so
gonna
you just
do that in
stay-
California. Okay.
Right, and so now
There's a bear on my porch. They're like, you live in an apartment building. I know this is serious. I can't.
there's a bear on my porch.
that's how
chilling
dangerous this is.
You're
This thing made it down here.
I don't even know where it came from. Oh.
There was a thing in Alaska for a while at the Alaska Zoo where a tourist like climbed a fence and the bear bit the shoe off the person. And the bear's name was Binky, so it was already kind of funny. And so there's like a bunch of T-shirts now of Binky holding a person's shoe.
Right,
Like,
right.
It just came out that way. But it was just tourists getting too close. Like it happens all the time up there. Like it's a
Right.
really big problem.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's my PSA.
And finally, Connecticut.
Connecticut.
I've never been to New England, really.
Connecticut.
Yeah,
That whole area.
my sister lives in Connecticut, and they're kind of right on this. Connecticut doesn't. There's not much there. It really, the thing about living in Connecticut is that you're just a little while from New York, and you're a little while from Boston. It's, and the roads are kind of old and not really designed for the number of people going through there, and so the traffic can be bad. But there's not like anything you want to go see.
I feel like maybe because that was an original like colony state, right?
Yes.
13 colony states. So maybe there's probably some old buildings there, like historical landmark buildings there.
You know what? They're historic landmarks, but they're not the
not
ones
cool.
that you.
They're not like-
They're not really cool. They're kind of like
It's like, look at this
something
farmhouse
happened-
from the
right,
1700s.
right. Something happened here that you never heard of that doesn't really affect your history, but it happened here in this
Yeah.
building. And I will say this: minor league sports are fun in Connecticut.
That is fun. That's fun.
Yeah, there's the Bridgeport Marlins play baseball in a really cool little park, and the train, the way that the train comes by, that you can actually see the train for a good amount of time. There's an opening in the park where the train comes like right by the park. I mean,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's and sometimes the conductors will get out on the side of the train, and as it goes by, they'll do something silly, or they'll wave at you, or they'll do something kind of goofy at you. And so that's kind of a neat. There's a couple of good minor league parks there, and also minor league hockey is great there. So, but really, I'm stretching at this point because almost every state has minor league baseball. You know what I mean?
The University of Connecticut, UConn basketball.
Yes.
Both sides.
Yes.
That's amazing. I would go just to go in that gym for sure.
The
right.
best college women players
She's
in
on
the
our
country
team
go
now.
there.
Monica's on our team.
Sorry, I felt like that's the only thing I ever think of when I think of Connecticut. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, UConn. Like, that's it. That's all.
And they are essentially the pro sports
Yeah.
in Connecticut. They are celebrities
Right.
in Connecticut.
Which
so yes, there is
happens
UConn.
nowhere else. So.
It's all right. Go to Connecticut if you're a fan of minor league sports
Like,
And college sports.
and college
Yeah.
sports
yes.
and train
Not
conductors
professional.
and waving.
That was pretty good. That was actually
We did a
really
great
good.
job.
That was great.
I feel good about
Well
this as
played.
a team.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I never played it before.
You're
Wasn't
really well. You're
sure.
1-0. That's what I'm telling you.
Has anyone lost yet?
I'm telling you, you are 1-0. You're doing great. I am probably like 3-17. So, because when we do this alone, it's kind of tough for me sometimes.
But I mean, this is this is like when you're talking about killing time in a state. I mean, that's pretty much my wheelhouse for 25
That
years
is.
now.
Right,
And
yeah,
that's the
yeah.
one thing.
So
This was your category.
This is a Jeopardy
You're
category.
welcome.
I'd sweep it. You know what I mean? It's of all the things you could have brought up.
Jeopardy category is like stuff to do in boring states. I'll take
What
stuff to
is-
do in boring states for 800, please.
Yukon. You're the Ken Jennings of boring state Jeopardy.
That's awesome. All right, you want a quiz?
Yeah, we're gonna quiz it up. So we usually do a quiz not at all related to anything about what
Just
we
a
talked
silly
about.
internet quiz.
And this one it goes along. It's what superhero archetype are you? So like, what kind of like superhero are you? Like a general sense, like a.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
I
like-
have no idea.
Yeah.
What other
Yeah,
genres?
we're
What do I
gonna-
have?
Like so, like I feel like the Hulk, like
I
a
don't
strong
know
guy
what-
would be one, or like
you tried it already?
Yeah, or like a flying guy would be one. Things
Okay,
like that.
got it. So
I already took the quiz. I know my answer. I'm pretty happy with it. I hope we don't all get the same answer, but if we do, then it'll be solidarity. So it's fine.
so he'll ask you the questions and he'll fill
And
it out
Oh,
for
I
you.
There's
see.
also some
Okay.
pictures, and I'll turn my laptop around and show you what it is too, so you can pick one.
Okay.
What is your best quality? Is the first question. Open-mindedness, kindness, intelligence, honesty, patience, generosity,
Jesus, there's a lot.
loyalty. This has like a long category. Creativity, strength, or are you confident? Like confidence.
And you can only pick one.
You can only pick one.
yeah.
I would say patience. I think I'm
Patience is
relatively
a good
patient
one.
person.
Is a
I
good
put
one.
honesty for me because I feel like I'm a pretty honest person.
I
But-
believe you. I mean,
Oh, thank you. I haven't lied to you. I wouldn't lie to you about it.
Oh, good lady.
What do you pick?
you know, I think you have.
Yeah, I would never lie
I'll go
unless
look.
I'm trying to sell a state that no one wants to go.
No, you won't die. That's fine.
No, you're fine in Alaska.
I
It's
don't-
very safe.
I don't think we praise Mississippi. I think we just tried to play the game.
I picked loyal.
Loyal.
Yeah.
All right. What bothers you the most? This is kind of a tough one because these are all terrible things and you can only pick one.
Yeah,
of them.
yeah.
Sexism, racism, homophobia, animal cruelty, political corruption, poverty, religious zealots, pollution, senseless violence, or rampant greed. I think I picked animal cruelty because I don't remember what I picked, but I picked that one, I think.
Wow.
But yeah, sexism, racism, homophobia, animal cruelty, political corruption, poverty, religious zealots, pollution, senseless violence, or rampant greed.
I think many of those are amplified because of rampant greed.
Ooh.
Okay.
Because
That's
it does
a
great
cover
answer.
a lot.
I was trying to look and I'm like, what is it causing all these symptom categories we
Yeah.
have here? But I'm going to go with sexism just because it's blatant to me.
All right. Then you got to pick a color, and this is not my strong suit, so I'm going to turn the computer, drop my headphones, and then you can pick one. So you got black, blue. Is it purple or blue? I can't
It's
tell.
blue.
blue.
Red, green. That's purple, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm all
Yellow.
purple. I love.
You love purple?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Go purple.
I think I picked
My mom had a joke that I went to
pick
University
red.
of Washington because of the colors.
because of the color purple.
Yeah, there you
Color
go.
purple is a great
I love purple.
color, and it's also
And
a
a
book.
great
too.
book.
Yeah.
I was like, where are you going? I'll go blue.
You go blue?
Yeah.
All right, pick your favorite subject in school. I can't speak very well. English, math, biology, chemistry, gym, art, psychology, history, drama, or band. I picked English.
Mine was Spanish, but it's not on here. There's not a language
Yeah, there should be
option.
a foreign language option.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Gym.
It's weird to pick gym, but gym was the fun
It
stuff.
was my favorite.
Yeah.
I took weightlifting like 3 years in a row.
What do you think?
I would say English.
English?
Yeah.
Okay.
All
yeah.
right.
There you go.
I didn't pick drama because I didn't take drama in high school at all. Actually, I only took it in college, so I feel like I would be cheating. Which career would you like to have?
Ooh.
Actor, doctor, scientist, writer, psychology, dentist, engineer, teacher, so many, web designer, or photographer. I picked writer.
I have no idea.
Yeah, if you could be, would you be Dr. Kermit?
No.
What about Dr. Kermit, PhD, scientist?
Dr. Kermit.
A biologist.
Ooh.
Scientists would be kind of cool, though. I like like when you discover something, or
yeah,
you know,
you could get like a planet named after you.
yeah, I'll go scientist.
You go scientist. What are you picking?
Picked photographer.
That's a good one.
I like that. I feel like you could just have an excuse to go and look at pretty stuff
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
and take pictures of it.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
You know,
And I think this is the last category. Which dessert looks best?
I like how you got louder.
This is important. All right.
Looks
so
best. So we're going specifically on looks.
On looks.
Okay.
We got some chocolate cake, brownies, cupcakes, a sundae. I think I chose a sundae.
It's
cookies,
melting, though.
s'more. That's like a fancy
That looks like a
ho ho.
yeah, no, like a ding dong.
A ding dong.
Yeah.
A ding dong. There you
Frosting
go.
on top.
Yeah.
And this looks like a
An eclair.
eclair. There you go. And then some cream filled cookies, like ice cream sandwiches, and then pie.
Huh.
I think I know what you're gonna
I
go.
wonder which one.
I'm just gonna click pie.
What
for
kind
you
of
real
pie
quick.
is
Why don't
it?
you go ahead and click pie?
I'll just go
Why
ahead and
don't you
click
go
pie.
ahead and
I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to show you what it is.
Can't believe we asked the question.
Oh man, you got a great
I'm going
one.
to go with
Kermit.
this cream-filled cookie sandwich thing.
Those are good too.
Wait, what? Oh, perfect.
All right, Monica, do you want to share who you got?
Yep.
Okay, who are you?
The shadow.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Nice.
Shadows are masters of avoidance, which was a funny sentence to me. They have powers and skills that allow them to evade detection and harm. That is so perfect.
Is that appropriate? That's pretty good. Huh?
Yeah, if we're talking specifically about my dating life, yes.
Boom. I got the tank. The tank is a super strong, super tough hero that is seen as almost completely invulnerable, and it's a picture of the Hulk. So I guess, I mean, I don't consider myself like super strong, but you never know. Stay optimistic. You, Kermit, are the super scientist.
What?
The super scientist experiments with things that could make them more powerful and help them defeat villains. And you have Reed Richards, the Fantastic Four,
Oh,
as your
nice.
avatar in the background. That's pretty
Okay.
cool. What are your fans? You're a fan of the Fantastic Four? You cool with it?
No, I saw the movie, and that's as much as I knew about them.
That's much, but now you're a super scientist. How do you
Okay,
feel?
I'll take that. Well, it doesn't have to be a good one, does it? Like,
You can be like a super scientist that's just doing like a science fair kind of.
Everyone else is like, this
Look at all
makes
these
me fly.
volcanoes you
Yeah.
made.
He just shows up at the volcano.
guys, I can't help with these people starting the end of the world, but if you guys do save the world, I can really help you put together a nice portfolio.
All right, we got to do charities.
Great.
We're pretty much almost out of time here.
Yep.
Monica, would you like to go?
Yeah.
first?
I found out about this dope human being named Mia Birdsong. I heard her do a TED Talk. And she was the president of the Family Independence Initiative, which is just they use economic and social information from the American economy to help find solutions for low-income families.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
it's actually really interesting. So their website is just FII.org.
FII.org.
Yeah, and she one of those. So sometimes when I listen to TED Talks, I just listen to them like as a podcast, and their voices, I just like them. I don't even know what they're talking about half the time, but I'm like, I just like the way she sounds. So then I'll like look them up later and be like, oh, she's really cool. She had a great voice also.
Yeah,
There you go.
good voice. So, cool. Kermit, you want to share any charities or anything? Here we go.
For me, it's anything that gets kids playing sports. Anything like Boys and Girls Club or those kind of things that help kids get out. Just because now people talk about participation trophies, and especially people who don't have kids, and it cracks me up when people talk about it because they have some kind of conclusion, non-scientific, just some kind of conclusion about what it's doing to kids. But what they don't realize is, when I was a kid, man, there were 3 channels on TV. So after school, you're either going to watch a soap opera or go out and play. Right?
Yeah.
There's nothing else. There was no. But now you're competing with video games. You're competing with,
Right.
I mean, every screen that they can
Yeah.
get their hands on, or the TV that has a ton of channels. So now, anything that encourages kids to get out and play. And I'm so glad my kids like sports and at my daughter's club volleyball thing, we have a fundraiser so that they can scholarship kids who couldn't afford club.
Yeah, that's how
Club
when I
volleyball,
played club basketball.
Which is amazing, and not just because it's going to get a lot of kids who normally wouldn't play that level. Because even if you play at community rec leagues, they're great. But when you play at select, the competition level's higher. Everything, you put in more hours. So these kids who would normally not get that chance get to do that. And and so anything like that helps kids play sports.
Absolutely.
And
That's
we like the Boys and Girls Club. My kids have played with them for a bit. My daughter she's 14. She just helped coach a 3rd grade volleyball team.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
this
great.
past
Yeah.
spring.
Yeah,
so.
I used to work for them. so.
Cool. Boys and Girls Club. Great charity. Great speech about charity.
No, that was
Killed it.
sorry.
That was wonderful.
I was laughing because that reminded me of a story.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
When I worked for the Boys and Girls Club.
Let's wait this out.
Okay, should we just?
Sorry, this will go for a while. Damn it.
This is a fun
That's
I
nice.
silenced his
ringtone,
phone,
though.
but I forgot about the home phone.
That's okay.
Oh, that's okay.
I forgot people have home phones.
Oh, take.
Oh my
right, so
goodness.
go ahead, Mom.
Anyways,
Sorry.
when I was working there, I was spinning basketball on my finger, and all my kids were watching me, and they're like, "Whoa, what? How'd you learn how to do that? What?" And then this girl who's like 11 goes, "You guys. Back in her day, they didn't have PS2s and all that stuff. Like, he was basically like, there were no screens, so she had to go outside." And I was like, I'm 25 at the time. Like, what? I mean, she's right, but what? I was like offended. And it just opens this whole thing. Where I'm like, how about you guys go outside? How about that?
It's funny that there's 2 dimensions to playing outside, though, because there's like playing outside, playing sports, like you guys did, and there's playing like where I'm a wizard and you're a wizard and we're running around the forest.
Well,
which is
if
what I
you're
did,
running,
so
that's still okay.
it's
Well,
fine.
yes, but there's no
wizard.
charity to help you go outside and be
Yeah.
a wizard. You
Is
know
there
what I
a
mean?
wizard outside?
There's no LARPs and girls clubs, boy. Whatever. LARPs
Yeah,
and girls
because there's no girls at
Yep.
LARP clubs.
There's for LARPers and girls to do other stuff and away from the LARPers. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast, Kermit.
I'm
Yeah,
honored.
so
Thank
fun.
you.
So much fun.
So proud to be 98.
According to the AARP. That's
All right. And what's the name of that town in North Dakota called?
Medora, Medora.
Medora.
It's really a great place to go in the summer.
All right.
I promise you, it's a lot of fun.
That's where episode 200 is going to happen. So thank you guys so much.
live recording in Medora. Absolutely.
All right. Bye-bye.